Good afternoon, everybody. Today, Junior School will be entertaining all of you with a short play loaded with humor, fun, and frolic. The Irish Engagement is a farce in one act, written by Walter Watts, which illustrates that the path of true love never runs smooth. At the start of the play, Julia, who is madly in love with Captain Foxlove, is being married off to fulfill her father's promise. Captain Foxlove hits upon a plan to pass his servant off as Mr. McCarthy to put Julia's father off the Irish Engagement. What follows is a hilarious case of mistaken identities. So sit back and enjoy the play.
Hope, Nora. There is no hope. Don't say that, ma'am. You're not married yet. But soon shall be. He's expected any time. And then? Say you don't want him. Tell him you can't love, won't love. And what's more, don't intend to love. That your whole and undivided heart is given to the captain. But my father will disown me if I dare disobey him. He loves you too much to do that, ma'am. I'm sure. Poor Foxlove. All our dreams of happiness are gone forever. Hush, that's Tim. My Tim. I know his own beautiful voice in 1,000. Oh, yes, it is him. And as I live, the captain. Your father's out, miss, so I think we might venture to let them in. By all means, fly. Moments like these are indeed precious. I feel that the fox alone could I be happy. Here is Julia. What joy once again to see you. Say what news of the enemy. The worst news, dear Foxlove. A letter received by my father this morning said he's already on his way to claim Mrs. Bride. Then we have not a moment to lose, my dear Julia. I've thought of a plan, which is successful. May it save us. A plan? Yes, love. Everything is fair in love and war. You said that neither father nor you have yet seen your husband to be? Yes. My father and his were school friends. The friendship increased with the years. They got married at the same time. One had a son, the other daughter. An agreement was made between them that their children should wed when they became of age. The time has now arrived and Mr. McCarthy is on his way from Ireland to claim his bride. And should you refuse to marry him, my father would take back the £10,000. Unless he too wants to break the agreement and it's mutual. We must try our best to make it so. So now for my plan. What think you of passing off my Irish servant, Tim Rafferty, as I expected Mr. McCarthy? Yes, but what then? And by his rude behavior, he can try and disgust your father with this Irish engagement. Excellent. But should the real Mr. McCarthy arrive? Leave that to the fortune of war. A forlorn hope that may end in love and happiness. It is worth trouble. Let us hope for the best. Meanwhile, I'll jump into his clothes so that I can keep a guard and watch over you. Bravo! Now let us put our plan into action. Immediately! Here, Tim!
Coming, sir, coming!
My servant Tim is exactly suited for the purpose. A genuine Irishman, full of fun and humor. Here, Tim!
Easy, sir, easy, and I'll be with you in the twinkling of an eye.
My maid Nora and he are in love. Confound the fellow! Here, Tim!
Here I am, Your Honor.
At last, sir. Tim, now we need your help.
Sure, you have my help before you ask it.
I'm aware you're a clever, intelligent fellow, Tim.
By my faith, the truest words you ever uttered, sir.
Will you do what I tell you to do?
Faith that will lie before you say it.
That is enough. Farewell, dear Julia. Go at once and put our plan in track. Farewell, dear Foxlove. Heaven grant you success. And Tim, remember, the happiness of my future life depends on you.
Don't worry, you can depend on me.
Pray heaven we succeed. My heart is once again filled with hope. Now, to play my part. Oh, mistress, there's my Tim going to transform himself. Yes, Nora, to help me. But suppose they find out who he really is? Why then, Nora? gentleman for a sweetheart. Let's pray our running plan works.
Well, my dear Julia, all's ready. Everything is prepared for a right-hearted welcome for the son of my old friend and your intended husband.
But, my dear father, I really cannot bear the idea of marrying a man who I've never seen.
But you'll see him before you marry, and just listen to the wonderful way his father describes him in this letter. My son is quite a likable young man, possessing all the qualities of a good husband. There, what could be better than that?
Someone in whom I can bestow my heart.
Then bestow it on him, but don't be unreasonable.
Till now, I've been an obedient daughter. But on such an occasion like this, that concerns the happiness of my future life, I do hope you take my feelings into consideration.
But I've promised my best friend, and I cannot get that promise. So make up your mind to like that young gentleman.
I'll do my best to please you, sir.
That I'm sure you will. Oh, it's my future son-in-law. How I long to embrace you.
Wow, what a wonderful house.
It's the captain and Tim. Son, away and prepare for my part.
What? Julia? God, the little looks off to pretty herself up. How the ladies do love to dress up. I presume I've the pleasure of seeing Mr. McCarthy.
And it's right you are for once in your life. I presume you're all bullfinch.
So is we have to see, sir. You're right, welcome.
Give me your 5, and it's me that's glad to see you, old gentleman.
So really, Jake is so very cordial. My hand is almost off. Allow me to ask, how's your worthy father? He must have sent me a letter.
Oh, yes, he did, indeed. But when I looked at the bundle of letters, I asked myself, what's the use of carrying them all across the sea? So I left them there.
Rather a rude thing to do. Well, letters or no letters, you're welcome.
Yes, here I am, and I plan to make myself right comfortable.
You're quiet, unassuming young man. What different eyes fathers see with.
Now, old gentleman, where's this lovely intended bride of mine?
I'll fetch immediately. I fear this rude fellow won't suit her at all.
Good going, Tim. Good going. Continue like this, and I'm sure he'll bring up this Irish engagement.
That he will, Captain, that he will. Just leave it to me.
Try your best. If you succeed, you get a reward.
20 pounds with Nora for life.
Just see that Julia's got.
Silence, here they are.
Allow me, sir, to introduce my daughter to you, Julia, Mr. McCarthy. Mr. McCarthy, Miss Bullfinch.
Now it's myself that's mighty proud and happy to see you, my darling. By the powers, you're a rose with the color of the tulip.
Really, Mr. McCarthy?
I've come so far to see you. Aren't you going to give me a kiss?
Be quiet. How dare you, sir?
John, be easy. Can't I meet my wife with a kiss?
At your peril, sir.
I must do it. It's natural.
Quiet. What is young man? He's a perfect devil.
Confound the fellow! He shall answer for his liberty!
By my soul, just holding you in my arms makes me forget my other girlfriend.
I'll stand no longer. I have the more of the sir.
What do you mean, you dirty spammy? You forget who I am? Leave the room. Be off.
What do you mean, sir?
Is it myself or you that is master? Get out of the room. Leave. Be off. That cheeky rascal.
He certainly presumes.
Presumes you call it? By my faith, I call it impudence. The impudence of servants is wonderful. They pay their masters, hollow in that. What? My little jewel is off too. By my faith, if all the bullfinches are like her, it's elegant birds they are.
I fear she won't say as much for you. I'm glad you like her, sir. She's indeed a charming creature.
A perfect angel in petticoats. And her fortune, how much money you plan to give me as dowry?
Rather, mercenary cushion. On a marriage, I shall give her 10,000 pounds.
10,000 pounds? And is it only a dirty 10,000 pounds you'll be giving me? Sell myself for 10,000 pounds. Would you be starving us? You old vagabond!
Stop. Vagabond? By the blood of the bullfinches. What do you mean?
What I say. First, let me tell you how I plan to live, and then you can tell me if a paltry 10,000 will be enough.
Let me hear what you intend to do. I never was so insulted.
Listen then. First, I want the largest house in town. whiskey, punch galore, lovely woman, enchanting music, dancing. Doing this for 10,000 pounds. You must give me more money.
I do no such thing. I don't give a penny more.
Say that again.
I repeat it.
You do?
I do by the blood of the bullfinches.
Then, by the blood of the McCarthy's, I'll make the bullfinches pipe your beautiful tune.
Help! What the hell?
Dear father, what is the matter?
That madman was about to murder me. And now what's such a son-in-law?
And that is the man on whom I'm to bestow my heart? How is it possible?
I've been an old fool. I know. I feel I have. But what should be done? Let's give him one more chance after I compose myself. I never was so insulted in all my life.
I can already hear 20 pounds jingling in my pocket.
But you carried it a little too far, sir. Why did you have to chase the lady? Be more discreet in the future. My dear Julia, close the lounge when knocking at the gate. Help us. It's all over.
Wish it was. With 20 pounds in my pocket and you in my arms. What's over, my darling?
Jim, he's done.
Who?
The real Mr. McCarthy. He's this moment alive. We're lost. Was ever anything so unfortunate? Is there no hope? No way of getting rid of him?
I have it. Leave it to me, follow me, and I'll just be showing it to you. Nora, show Mr. McCarthy up here. Away with you, my darling. Would I be giving up 20 pounds so easy? No. First, I'll show a touch of Irish cunning. Follow me.
Be kind enough to wait here, sir, while I announce the title to the family.
Here I am, at last, in the house of my father's old friend, as a suitor to his daughter, who I have never seen. But, even if she's ever so beautiful, I can never love her. My heart is already given to another, so I must manage to break off the match as easily as possible. Who do we have here?
Now, I must play the gentleman. I presume you're Mr. McCarthy?
At your service, sir. May I ask who I have the pleasure of addressing?
We've been expecting you in devil of a time.
My father, I believe, announced my intention of coming some time ago. May I inquire for Mr. Bullfinch?
Poor old gentleman!
I trust there's nothing the matter with him. No sudden illness.
Poor old fellow! And it's pity he's to be all the world over. But it's in the family.
In the family? My dear sir, pray explain.
Then you haven't heard
About what?
the old gentleman! Poor fellow!
Not about since his last letter to my father.
Then it slipped his memory to write and tell you, I suppose. It's my painful duty to inform you he's wrong. Here.
What do you mean? Is he ill?
In the mind, but not in the body. His upper story is quite vacant, I'm afraid.
I really don't understand you, sir. In plain language, what is his complaint?
Then, in plain language, sir, he is stark, staring, raving, mad.
Mad? Good heavens! What a misfortune! When did this happen? Is he raving?
Raving he is. There's no reasoning with him. Once, he's taken a thing into his head. What do you think he's got into his head now?
I really can have no idea.
Once myself, he takes for yourself and calls me Mr. McCarthy. Isn't that strange?
Very.
So when he sees you, he'll insist you're not yourself.
Then, what am I to do?
Agree with him and you'll be alright. But contradict him and whoop, he's up like a skyrocket.
I'll take great care. Have you any idea of the cause of it? What brought it on?
Man is not in the family.
You don't say so. His daughter?
She is worse than the old gentleman.
What a misfortune. What an escape I've had. Madness runs in the family. I wouldn't have her with the 50,000.
Now, sir, here she is. You will see it with your own eyes.
This will be a good excuse to refuse the match. Now for my bride that was to be.
Let me introduce you to Mr. McCarthy.
Mr. McCarthy, how delighted I am to see you. I've read of you, thought of you, dreamt of you, and now to gaze upon you. Oh, this heavenly.
This is rather an awkward situation. My dear madam, I'm delighted to see you.
I'm in a galaxy of delight. I pictured thee on starlit night. And now, like a bright galaxy, you dazzle me with thy luster.
Mad without a doubt. My dear madam, I regret to hear about your father.
My father, he's a saint in heaven. Angels watch on the below. He was my guardian angel before you came to take me from him.
Heaven forbid, I would not for the world deprive him of so great a pleasure.
But now you've come to take me to your bosom. Therefore, with wide light, I throw myself into your arms, mad with supreme bliss.
But my dear madam, I really
Hush! Hush! Now, when the garden of paradise, where universal happiness reigns, promise you'll never part from me.
No, never, never. I only wish I could.
Always love me, tender me with a jealous care.
Yes, always, always. Anything to get rid of her.
Never smile upon others more fair and lovely.
Never, I assure you.
Swear to be true to me forever.
I swear.
Swear, or the demon of jealousy will take possession of me, and I'll chain you tiny little stars. Swear!
She's raving. I swear, I swear.
Then here I shall rest forever.
Upon my life, this is pleasant. How shall I get rid of her? My dear madam, will you leave me to your father?
Ha! He returns! Away! Away! Away!
She's gone at last. I breathe freely again. Poor creature. She's raving. The sooner I get out of this, the better. I can now wed my own Kathleen with no further opposition from my father.
I just powdered that bullfinch's wing with flour.
Then I'll be off. I've had quite enough of one of the family.
But my dear sir, here comes the second now. So just hide under this table to see how mad a father is. Now this will put all things straight. Here he comes. Now sir, keep quiet.
Betty!
You hear it, sir? Keep quiet or we're murdering you.
You rascal! You villain! How dare you! How dare you do so? By the pillar of the switches, jump back on this! I'll not put up with it! I'll not endure it!
Easy, then. Take it easy.
What is the meaning of this? You can't be covered with blood!
Just take a peep at him, sir.
Good heavens! Poor creature! By the blood of the bullfinches, you drive me mad! But I'll not put up with it! So let me tell you, Mr. McCarthy.
You hear what he calls me?
Although I have a great respect for your father, I'll not put up with such treatment from his son. So get out of my house, sir!
Now mind what you say, sir.
I say, get out of my house! By the blood of the bullfinches, I'll no longer bear his presence. So be off! Be off at once!
I will go after you listen to me. There's a man. He's been going around and he's been saying terrible things about you.
What?
It's a secret, I can't tell. He says you are mad. Stop staring, raving, mad. And they sent a man to lock you in asylum.
Nonsense! You're insane!
I can see it in the twinkling of your eye. Oh, it's backward and no mistake.
I'll not endure this any longer!
Let me tell you a secret. He's already here to take you. He's hiding on the table.
With the table, I should have the spondyle out. Come on, you villain! Come on! Tell people you're mad! Will you? Look at me, sir! Tell me! Come on!
Easy, take it easy.
I'm too easy. Get out of my house, both of you, or I'll kick you out.
Remember what I told you?
Not to contradict them. Really, sir? Most decidedly mad. I'm mad. Oh, you villain. This is the way innocent people are destroyed. I'm mad. I think I am.
Take it easy.
I'm too easy. Get out of my house, both of you, or I'll kick you out. Sir, my name is McCarthy. McCarthy? Son of your old friend and schoolfellow. You are McCarthy? Who's the... I came here to see and marry your daughter. I trust you will not be offended if I say I must decline the honor after what I've seen. I like that. You decline. I should be off.
All's going on as smooth as a sea in a calm. Conclude the interview as soon as possible, for it's a mighty big fit I see coming on.
Here, sir, is an agreement I've drawn up, by which I want to resign the lady and thus release it from her promise.
Now I have my 20 pounds in order for life.
Here, sir, is a letter from my father, and I now, sir, take my leave, trusting that before long your son and daughter will be perfectly restored. Stop! What's all this? A Wolfman's writing? My dear son, the bearer of this letter, signed Dennis McCarthy. Yes, sir, Mr. You call me Mr. McCarthy.
No other has a right to that title, I can assure you.
By the bread of double fidget, then who was the person who just left us? He's Mr. McCarthy.
No, sir. I'm Mr. McCarthy. He informed me that both you and your daughter were mad.
Mad? I only wonder I'm not. Sir, I'm confused. First one, McCarthy. Now another. What is it? Who is it? Where is he?
Jim Rafferty at your service, sir.
By the bread of double fidget, will nobody explain?
Forward, please, sir. You have promised your daughter whom I love to another under forfeit of 10,000 pounds to obtain a release from which you put up the sack.
Why, you're right.
Yes, my dear father. I could not give my hand without my heart. And you saved me from the misery, anointed made your only daughter miserable.
Then who the devil are you, sir?
Foxwell, Captain Foxwell, and this is my servant Dick. I trust, sir, you will forgive everything and make your daughter happy.
If you don't, I'll be pounding a wing again.
This is all very fine. But what's in Mr. McCarthy?
Dad, I'm happy to find you really a reasonable being. My hand and heart are promised to another.
Well, I suppose I must. They take her Captain Foxler. She has played a part so well. I cannot refuse. I'll give away the bride.
And I'll give away mine. But before that, allow me to ask, ladies and gentlemen, are you pleased? If you are, just be putting your hands together for our Irish engagement.
So did you like it?
Yes.
Wasn't it great fun?
Yes.
And what lovely acting skills all of them had. Yes? All of you should be able to find your talent and do well. So who was your favorite? I think all of them were great. Okay? All of them were really good and they've got great acting skills. And let's give a big hand for man who put it together. He must have been the English teacher in school for I don't know how many years, and she loved it. She loved every moment. And I like that we brought up the